Hello, and welcome for today's Cyber Talks on how threat intelligence is used to reduce an organization's risk profile. To be presented by Dr. Erdal Ozkaya. I am Ritika Chakraborty, and I will be your host for the day. For our attendees, the session will be in listen only mode and will last for an hour, out of which last 10 to 15 minutes will be dedicated to Q&A. If you have any questions during the webinar to organizers or panelists, post your questions in the Q&A window. Also, if you face any audio-visual challenges, please check your internet connection or you may log out and log in again. An important announcement for certificate of attendance. Participants need to attend the complete webinar to qualify for the certificate of attendance. Participant should fill in the survey form in the attendees thank you mail and three questions based on the webinar provided with the right answers within the same day. If these two criteria are met, then only the participant will receive the certificate of attendance within 5 to 7 working days after the event. Now, about our speaker. Dr. Erdal Ozkaya is a passionate, solutions-focused professional with a comprehensive background in information technology, information security, and cybersecurity. He is committed to delivering accurate, accessible resources to inform individuals and organizations of cybersecurity and privacy matters in the digital age. Dr. Oskaya is a collaborative team leader with the key areas of expertise spanning end-to-end IT solutions, management, communications, and innovation. In addition, he is a well-known public speaker, an award-winning technical expert, a book author, a writer of certifications for prestigious organizations such as Microsoft, EC Council, and other expert level vendors. Some of Dr. Auskaya's recent awards include Best CISO for Banking and Financial Sector 2021, CIO Online and IDC Top 50 Technology Leaders, Security Magazine Top CISO 2021, Tycoon's Success Magazine Most Powerful 10 Middle East Businessmen 2021, EC Council CEH Hall of Fame, Khalid's Times CISO Power List Cybersecurity Legend by GES Media Group 2020, Superhero CISO by Enterprise IT, Top CISO by Security ME Magazine 2020, 2019 CISO Magazine Hall of Fame and Cybersecurity Influencer of the Year, Microsoft Regional Director 2019, 2018 NATO Center of Excellence Award, 2017 Microsoft Platinum Club Security Professional and many more. Without any further delay, over to you, Dr. Uskaya.
Thank you, Rita. Welcome to this webinar, and I hope you're gonna end of this 1 hour. You're gonna learn a lot more about threat intelligence, and I hope we all gonna enjoy the session together. I don't have to introduce myself again. Currently, I'm the Chief Information Security Officer at Komodo Cybersecurity, and this is my connection details, so you can follow me in social media. You'll probably find me anywhere, from my YouTube channel to Instagram and my blog. The surprise for tonight, I mean, it's already tomorrow for me here in Australia. It is already September 2. If you go ahead and tweet about this session, tag me, EC Council, and CISO Mag, and tweet about the session, any feedback, good or bad, but hopefully good. And the most liked and retweeted tweet is gonna get free book of their choice. The first book, Cybersecurity Leadership Demonstrate, is not ready yet, but once it's been published, you can select that one as well. So All what you have to do is tweet and tag what you see here. All right, agenda. We all know cybersecurity is really, really important. It is not a side IT task anymore. It is one of the core aspects. Management has to support cybersecurity because such countries such as SEC, the Security Exchange Commission in US, is putting jail penalty if you're not. I mean, you can get to jail for not supporting cybersecurity in executive as an executive. And when you start to talk about cybersecurity, of course, there is many important aspects. In my opinion, threat intelligence is one of the most. You all know James Bond. You all know Mission Impossible movies. Tom Cruise, you know, he jumps, he does all this fancy stuff. Or I'm pretty sure some of you already watched Black Widow, which is all about spies. You know, some countries, even some organizations send some spies to other countries to collect information and to send it back. I mean, one of the very famous one, which was all over the news, was a few years ago in US, a Russian agent, female, Anna Chapman, who was caught and sent back to Russia. She became quite famous because she was sort of she was looking good, and she was, she became a different media stream artist. But this is out of topic. What I'm trying to say is threat intelligence. Let's talk about threat intelligence. There is two types of organizations. One, they know they've been hacked. Two, they don't. Going forward, there is going to be two types of organizations. The ones they adopt the modern threat environment, and the ones they don't. Cybersecurity, as I said, is in the news. There is no single week that one of the very big organizations is getting hacked, unfortunately. And when we look at the attack vectors, emails is still number one. Ransomware is still a big pain. And when you look at the details of ransomware, this is the most popular cyber attack these days because ransomware is known as cache mechanism, the easiest way to gain cash. What was ransomware? It's like kidnapping. What they do is they kidnap your data, and in return, they ask for money. If you don't pay, they destroy your data. Example, Garmin. They paid $4 million US and they received their data back. It was recently in the news. Not EC Games, yeah, the creator of FIFA, EB Games, I forget the company name. They were also recently hacked. EA Games, sorry, EA Games. They were recently hacked. They refused to pay the ransom. As a result, 750 gigabyte data of game sources such as FIFA 2022, NRL, Formula One was released to public. So it will be up to you to pay or not. But again, this is different topic. When we look at malware, in 2020, there were more than 156 million malware released into the wild. As of today, we nearly reached this number. It's like 127 million. And there is another like 3 months to finish this year. And if you look at 2019, I think the number was around 140 million. So we see every year more and more malware released to the wild. As a result, we see more and more data breaches. Spain, Brazil, 220 million. Facebook this year, 533 million. And you see all these different data breaches, which happened just in the last 6 years, as you can see in the screenshots. I mean, as I said, there is two types of organizations. One, they know they've been hacked. Two, they don't at the moment. All right, when we look at the malware attacks, you will see Germany in the list, but Germany is targeted as financial attacks. Then you see countries like Bangladesh in the list. When you look at the Bangladesh in details, you will see that they have lots of malware infections. Algeria, computer infections. Uzbekistan, cryptomine infections. So why it's important to look into these details? Like Germany, it's obvious, one of the world's best economies. As a result, they get financial malware attacks. Bangladesh or Algeria, they're not good in their economy is not on top. When I say they're not good, please don't get me wrong in terms of economy. They are sort of average country in terms of economy, and you see still the malware rates high. This could be, of course, because of the cracked software usage or unmaturity cybersecurity, but this could be also used by hackers as bots or as zombies, more than bots, to attack some other countries, to utilize the computer powers. Again, when we look at the industries, you see many industries. I mean, from governments to federal banks to banks to telecommunications, nearly any kind of organization is getting hacked. It's also important to look at the details of the hacks. 5 years ago, or 4 or 5 years ago, weak passwords was one of the biggest issues. Then, as you can see, I mean, people is always in the top right. Social engineering attacks, people-related attacks started to be popular. Human errors is still, challenging, but hackers are focusing more and more on human-related attacks, such as phishing, such as email, and someone is paying the bill. It's expected to reach 6 trillion of cyber damage end of this year. And I think we nearly reached the numbers. So why I'm talking about this, or how can I give you all these statistics? Of course, we're going to cover this shortly. Unfortunately, cybercrime costs $16.4 million per day. In other terms, every second it passed, someone is paying, the world is paying $190,000 in cyber damages per second. This could be in remediation, or this could be on prevention, or paying ransom. And unfortunately, the news. This year, we had many big cyber attacks. We started with one of the biggest in the history, one of the most complicated attacks, which hit one of the world's biggest cybersecurity firms. And honestly, I'm proud to say they handled it really well, being a competitor currently to them. I work in a competition, but of course, I'm not talking as Komodo, I'm talking as cybersecurity strategist and looking on how they handled. They done a great investigation, and they found out that the main cause was actually based on the CEO. Unfortunately, I have to tell you the company name. The main cause of the attack, unfortunately, was SolarWinds 123 password, apparently, which caused all this complicated supply chain attack. That's very recently. I'm pretty sure you read it. You all know what's happening in Afghanistan. A State Department was hit in US by hackers as a result of the effort of evacuating thousands of Americans, Afghans, allies from Kabul. So I can speak all day about it, but no. Today's topic is threat intelligence. What is threat intelligence, and how can threat intelligence help us to reduce risk? When you look into all these issues, like, go to any organization. I was a CISO in a bank. As a customer, it was a bit harder sometimes to understand, but now I work for a vendor. I work at Komodo, as I said. And when I speak to customers, everybody thinks they have the best security solutions. When I speak to some CISOs, fellow CISOs, they say, hey, you know what? We have 50 plus security products, so we are secure. Or some others say, hey, you know what? I'm using best of the best. I am secure. But is using so many products, or is using the best of the product making you more secure? What about the human configuration attacks? What about misconfiguration attacks, human error attacks? What about all the zero-day attacks? So the way security work has changed. And one of the most important aspects to increase security aspect is threat intelligence, or of course, cyber threat intelligence. Before I start to explain what cyber threat intelligence is, I would like to read a frame from Censure. He says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you don't need to fear the result of 100 battles. So, know the enemy, but know also yourself. But this is not enough. Don't be afraid of any war, but you have to also, if you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. So do your intelligence well. If you neither know the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb every battle. In this case, who is our enemies? Of course, anybody who wants to harm your organization, yourself. To defeat the enemy, you have to understand who they are and how you can defeat them. If you don't know who they are, if you don't know what they do, how are you going to defeat them? Remember when COVID started, the world was in panic. 2019, I think around this time, November, December, it happened. It started in Wuhan. Some people blame the Chinese for eating bats. Some people blame some other stuff. But nearly after 2 years today, we still don't know what the cause of COVID was. Yes, it was an enriched version of the COVID family that was there for years, such as SARS, but we didn't know how to defeat them. Then we found out that we have to wear masks, we have to use hand sanitizers, we have to keep social distance, and the world changed forever. Thanks God, today, the lucky one of us had the vaccines, like myself, and some of you are still waiting to get vaccinated, where some of you, of course, are refusing the vaccination, which doesn't make sense to me, but I respect, it's not my problem. But let's go back to threat intelligence. So why did I give the COVID example? If you know the enemy, which is COVID, if you know how to defeat it, you can develop a defense mechanism, which BioNTech, AstraZeneca, Sinovac has did, and some of the other companies. So what is threat intelligence? Threat intelligence is data that is collected, processed, and analyzed to help you to understand the threat actors, motivates, targets, and attack behaviors. As Kensu said, it helps you to learn about your enemy. It helps you to make better decisions. It is informing you. It helps you to give data-backed decisions. And example, if you know I'm just about to hit you, you will just protect yourself. This can give you a clue of the next coming attack. It's like one day before you watch the weather report. How is the weather going to be tomorrow? If it says there is 90% chance of rain and you think to go to picnic, I would say think twice. Yes, there is 10% chance of not raining, but it's the minority. Threat intelligence, if you look at Gartner, Forrester, both of them are telling the same things. Basically, threat intelligence is lifesaver. When you look at threat intelligence, it gives you information about your threat actors, the different types, the targets, their goals, their strategies, how they attack, what they do, or their weapons, which is the malware they use, the tactics, the techniques, the procedures, and the indicators. If you know an attack is going to come via email, of course it will be great to start to increase your email security. If you know most of the attacks, starts with malware, encryption, data exfiltration. So why not have something to prevent it? Why not to have something to detect it? Why not to have something to respond to it? For example, at Komodo, we are giving free EDR, endpoint detection response, totally free, open source. Go to open source EDR Komodo, you can fully download it for free. Look, I'm not talking about our commercial products. That is a different topic, but it's great to have open source intelligence or products which can help you to be more secure. Threat actors and defenders are constantly trying to outsmart us. Why? Because if they're not doing something better than my defense, they cannot harm me. So they have to always try to outsmart us, people like me, to be successful. A hacker has to find one way to be successful, where me as defender or people like us, the defenders, we have thousands, if not 10,000 endpoints, users, servers, applications that we need to protect. The hackers, they have to find just one vulnerability, one attack vector to be successful, where if we can detect an attack early enough, we can respond against it. If we get, for example, once you have the IOC, the indication of compromise signatures, why not run it against your SIEM to see if you have something similar in your network? Or why not improve your security defense mechanism, maybe, which is lacking at that point of time because there's a brand new attack which was never foreseen again before, that you now learn from it and improve your security. Why not? It's like COVID, remember? First, the world didn't know what to do. Then we learned that, hey, we have to be away from each other. We should not hug each other. We should keep a distance, wear masks, and so on. In other words, threat intelligence is lifesaver, in my opinion. There are two types of threat intelligence: your internal threat intel and external. Internally is what you get from your own devices, from your network, from your servers, applications, products, vendors, partners. So this will be external, sorry. From your team, for example. Or you can go, for example, to dark web and collect it yourself, which will help you to look what's happening. Externally is where the cyber threat intel that comes from your partners, from organizations such as Microsoft, Komodo, FireEye, and so on. They are giving you the resources to help you to be more secure. There is multiple different types, but you can put those in 4 types. The strategic one, the operational one, tactical and technical one. Strategic one, as is the name states, the big picture of the past, current, and future trends in the threat landscape. If you remember, my presentation started with the recent cyber attacks. There is a graph where you could see the companies they've hacked. If you know how they're hacked, maybe you can compare this, or not maybe, you should compare this with your environment and see if you have the same vulnerability, attack vector still open. Operational, specified about the nature and purpose of the attacks and attackers. If your banking environment, it happened to me years ago. I went to a bank as an advisor when I was working for Microsoft, and I asked about Karabanak. The CISO and CIO looked at me, says, "What is Karabanak?" I'm like, "You don't know? And you work on a bank?" They said, "No." In 2015, a threat actor group called Karabanak hacked more than 100 banks, and they stole $1 billion. I repeat, $1 billion. And this CIO and CISO were not aware of this threat actor group, which is okay. But it was not okay to me. But luckily, I was there and I was helping to. When I say us as a company, back then I was Microsoft, but I explained what it is, how they attack, the indication of compromise, the tactics, the procedures they use, and we compared this against that bank, which most of those defense mechanism was lacking. We helped them to improve it. So we helped them technically and tactically and technically to be ready against this attack. An example from today, COVID-19. You got your vaccination, you keep your distance, you try to keep your hygiene, and hopefully you will not get infected. Does it guarantee you not to be COVID? Of course not. Same applies to cybersecurity. Implementing cyber threat intelligence and the best cyber defense mechanism is never ever going to give you 100% security. But there is 7 great reasons that you should implement cyber threat intelligence. First of all, it gives you the light in the dark. It shows you the known unknown, at least which was unknown for you. It might help your security team to make better decisions, mitigate risk, empowers you for learn how they operating, how they attacking, helps you to better understand how, once you understand how they attack, it helps you make better decisions how to defend. In other terms, as a CISO, CIO, CTO, or whatever your job role is, it helps you to get with some figures again, with metrics against your board. For example, let's CISO. I'm part of the board. In my previous role, it was same. 3 roles before, when I was a CISO in a vulnerability research company, it was the same. I could get some metrics and translate this into the business where my stakeholders, such as CEOs and business leaders, were able to understand the risk. As soon as you can show the metrics and translate this to the business, there is no board which will not support you, especially if there is a possible jail penalty there, or if there is a GDPR penalty there, which takes 4% of your revenue as penalty, and that bad publications, which is going to make a company look bad. Of course, they will take it serious. And believe it or not, you spending you spending money for a threat intelligence vendor partner is going to help you save costs. It's like buying if you always fly and you are a rich businessman and the flight schedules never the flight schedule never fits your timing and you start to lose business, then you will go and buy a private jet. Then the money is worth for your private jet because you have a great business case to utilize this extra cost. Or if you need, if you need a car and if you need to travel far distance and you have to, there is no public transport or the public transport costs you a lot of time and money, you will buy a car to compensate the cost of losing time, of course, if you can afford it as well. But in real time, spending that money for a car is going to help you to save time, and time equals money. It should help you to increase your operational success. As you all know, cybersecurity is all about making the right decision. The right decision starts with having a right strategy. And your strategy should not be security as possible. It should be security as necessary. Intelligence. I think by now we all understand why it's important to have CTI, cyber threat intelligence. Now, I want to give a bit more details, which hopefully can help you to pass, for example, your EC Council Threat Intel examination as well. What are the sources of threat intel? Of course, malware. Most of the threat actors, they use different types of malware to attack you. That's their weapon. What else? The incidents. To know what's going to happen tomorrow, you have to know what happened yesterday. And the incidents, the past incidents, are usually found in your logs from your network, endpoints, from your mail systems, or security vendor. Connecting to events like this, totally free. Thank you, EC Council. Thank you, EC Council University. And thank you, Komodo, for allowing me on my work time to be here as well. So industry sharing groups is always good. You can go to government's CERT sites, which is the Computer Emergency Response Teams. I mean, I said FBI if you're in the US, but this could be cybergov.com.au if you're in Australia. I know India CERT. I know UAE CERT in Dubai. Or your vendors. Or, as I said, open source, the Komodo open source EDR or threat intel, which can help you as well. Once you understand the sources, it's important to look at the data as well. We talked about IOC, right? The indicators of compromise. What are they? This could be an IP address, which is used maybe in from a command center. Hashes. This could be names. This could be anything, you know. This could be track feeds and so on. So, what is the difference between threat intel and data? Honestly, both of them are data, but the context is a bit different. What is the context? The context could be only found out via analysis. This could be target victim size, victim type. For example, Carbanak. Why they did not attack extremely large banks, but they selected some smaller banks? If you remember the Bangladesh Swift attack, why they went to different, you know, sorry, my Siri decided I was asking to her. It was not actually. This could be an attack type. Okay, how did the hackers attack? Was it a targeted attack or was it a password spray, for example? What kinds of malware did they use? Was it a zero-day or was it a commodity malware? What tactics did they use? Was it emails as usual or was it a supply chain attack, which hacked a company and through that company they reach out to you? Example from real life. How did you caught COVID? Was it from your best friend because you didn't follow the rules such as keep social distance, wear masks, try to, you know, not see your friends. If you have to see them, keep your social distances? Or was it because you were really unlucky? So, as we are talking about threat intelligence, in my opinion, there is also a threat unintelligence. What is the threat unintelligence? Honestly, this is any data that you don't focus on. If you don't know what's happening around you, then you are in the wrong business. If you don't spend enough time on reading what's happening in the cyber threat landscape, then you are in the wrong business. Look, I'm not telling you go get PhD as I did, or read all my books, or go do all the certifications around you. No, but I'm telling you, be aware, look around you, know what's happening in your surrounding. Try to understand. I'm not asking you to go do CHFI and be a forensic investigator, but at least understand how the attackers work. If you don't know how to do it, look at some blogs, such as threatpost.com, for example, or my blog, and see what the attack vectors were, what malware was used, what hashes did they use, how did they encrypt your computer. Don't forget, threat intelligence will never ever tell you the exact root cause unless you do proper forensics. But it will give you hints. So don't just rely on the weather forecast. Tomorrow it's going to rain. You look up in the cloud, it's fully open and there's no sign of rain. It's always good to double check. And have a threat intel team. With this, I mean, whatever I said sounds easy. I know. Establishing a cyber threat intel program sounds easy. But honestly, establishing a successful CTI program is harder than you think. You have to be reactive. You have to be as well as proactive and predictive. So there is no right one way to run a threat intel program. There is no the best threat intel partner. There is no the best of this and that. I mean, I just wrote a book called Incident Response in the Age of the Cloud. I have full module about threat intelligence. You can go and just download a sample, and this could be a sample module, okay? Or you can, as I said, do some training from EC Council, which will help you to understand those better. There is plenty different ways, but the most important thing is you have to target your CTI model. You have to build a threat intel team. Remember, you had data coming in. This could be hash values, IP addresses, domain names, or artifacts, tools, techniques, procedures. This will give you the event details, the IOCs, the artifacts, which will, together with your global threat intel, campaign analysis, and threat actor tracking, will help you to improve your defense skills, your technical skills, which will help you to go a step ahead. This could be, of course, looking at your vulnerabilities. Remember WannaCry? It happened in, I think, 2016, 17, whatever. How did it happen? NSA was using a tool, Eternal Brew, to whatever reasons, okay? Microsoft found this out, and as soon as they found it out, they released the urgent patch. I don't know if you remember exactly when after the first WannaCry ransomware attack happened. Just guess. Was it 2 hours later? 2 days? 20 days? 4 weeks? No, it was 2 months later. So you had more than 60 days to patch your environment, and people, they didn't. As a result, the attack happened. If you had proper threat intel team, if you had, if you read this from your threat intel feed, and you did a vulnerability tracking, or you did actor tracking, or you were getting threat intel from your search team, you could just maybe improve your detection signatures or detection engineering, which could help you to build your team or your defense. Look, everybody's talking about red team, blue team, purple team, green team, which is really, really important. You might not be able to get all those teams, but you are able to get the right vendor to help you. You will need help. I'm not saying come to Komodo. I'm not saying go to Microsoft or to this or to that. I'm saying choose your vendor, choose your partner smart. It's like training. You can go get training from many different vendors. You can pick EC Council as well. You have to look who's giving you the value. Go to LinkedIn, look at job ads. I'm currently hiring in India, for example. If you're in India and you want to join my team at Komodo, report to one of my directors who reports to me, you can go and apply to the role. And you will see that one of the job requisition is honesty CH, or it is also it's also the ECIT, the cyber threat intel. I'm looking for the certificates. I'm not saying I'm just going to hire people. They have the certificate, but I'm telling people they have the certificate has higher chance of to get hired. And don't forget, I'm not even looking at the CVs first. It goes all the way from HR to the hiring manager, and I just do interview with the last or best 3 candidates. But the first thing is to look at the detail that, hey, are you certified or not? Then in the interview, we're going to verify the certification by asking the right questions and how you respond to those questions, and hopefully hire anybody who is capable. So all this, building a threat intel team with the targeted CTI model is going to give you great threat landscape visibility. It should give you threat actor prioritization and tracking possibilities. If you know all these attacks happen via phishing, remember, hackers have to find one successful method to bring you down, where us defenders, if you can detect the attack in early stages, you can stop rest of the attack. The hacker has to be end-to-end successful of the threat actor. You, as soon as you can pick the fragment via hint, it's like TV shows. You know, sometimes you go, who wants to be millionaire? And they give you some tips, some hints. And maybe with this hint, you can be the next millionaire. It's also important to run and maintain the threat intel team. You need to train them. They need to know the organization. They have to work hard. Cybersecurity is hard work. And you have to keep them motivated. Saying that, they have to be up to date. They have to be trained. And this can be done, of course, via knowing your platforms, your employees, your individuals, the interests of the individuals. It's a teamwork to go to the success. And don't forget, there is no I in the word, in a team. Is it all? Of course not. You have to measure the success. How? You have to look at the qualitative and quantitative measures. So how are you going to measure this? Of course, you have to ask questions to yourself. First of all, if a cyber attack happens, is your leadership getting surprised? Are they aware of the impact? Do they have any, they will ask you if you have any interrupted issues. When you look into details, it's not straightforward. You have to look at many different aspects. You have to work with many different stakeholders. But at the end, it's all about to help your organization to be better. If you focus on better threat intelligence, you will have better defense mechanisms. You will be able to focus on the historic and current attacks and foreseeing maybe what's coming your way. Then you can prioritize based on your organization. Again, if you remember, in the beginning of my session, I showed some infographics about countries attacked most, organizations attacked, the ways their organization they were attacked. And all this is going to help you to build a better risk management. Because risk management is all about what you want to protect. For that, you have to know your crown jewels. You have to know your threat actors. And you have to have a plan, of course. Now, take risk management and compare it with threat intelligence. Do you see major differences? They map each other. And I believe threat intelligence is a major part of risk management. What is risk management again? Based on ISO 31000, it is the identification, assessment, and prioritization of risk, followed by coordinated and economical application of resource. It's important to minimize, monitor, and control the probability and or impact of unfortunate events and minimize the realization of opportunities. Let me repeat three for others. Monitor, control the probability, and impact. Isn't that what we do at threat intelligence? Monitor, minimize. Remember the 7 important steps that you need to, that CTI gives you. I can see many questions coming up. Promise we're going to answer them shortly. So, what are the elements of risk management? Identification, characterization, assessment of threats. Isn't it similar to threat intel? Assessment of the vulnerability and critical access of specific threats. Is it not what you get from threat intel as well? Determination of risk. How? While knowing what's happening. The likelihood. How? While looking at similar organizations. I mean, you not always get the result, but it will help you. Identification of ways to reduce those risks, which is going to help you to prioritize. And this is the 5 important steps of risk management. Risk management, goes, of course, in a different way. I'm not going to talk too much about risk management, but what I'm trying to tell is, as well as at CTI, Cyber Threat Intelligence, you have to have management involvement. And you have to specify your goals and objectives. And they map each other. They help you to be better. Now, we're coming slowly towards the end, and there is a lot to discuss, but I want to leave some time for questions and answers as well. This is my saying. Maybe if you go ahead, tweet this, you can be one of the winners, remember? So, knowing the threat actors will for sure help you to build a better cybersecurity strategy, but it's not enough. You have to also know your technology. Knowing the technology is going to empower you, but this is also not enough. You have to know also the threat actors. Knowing the threat actors with your weaknesses and technology will master your defense. Please. Now, for the people, they need some of the stuff. You have to know yourself. You know what you know and what you don't know. If you want to be successful in your career, you have to learn what you don't know. And there's zillions of things to learn, like EC cancer by itself. You can get many different certifications. CEH, CHFI, secure programming, Java programming. You have to know what you want. Or if you want to buy my books, there's like 16, 17 different books that I wrote. Which book? They all have different purpose, different scopes. Identify what you need. Learn. You know, EC Council is great. Get your certifications or EC Council University. This certification turns to a cyber degree. And at the end, hopefully you will land up in a better job. With this, I'm coming to end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Please don't forget, these are my social media contacts. If you have any questions, I'm going to answer right now. But there is also, you know, a giveaway. Don't forget, all what you have to do is tweet, and hopefully one of you is going to win. Any questions, team? I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I'm right here to answer your questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ozkaya, for an insightful and information session. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing presentation, and we hope it was worth of your time. This session is in sync with EC Council's CTIA program. EC Council's CTIA maps to many roles in the industry like threat intelligence analyst, threat analyst and reporting, vulnerability management and threat intelligence engineer, etc. Anyone with a CTIA certification is eligible for 9,000 plus job vacations globally with an average salary of $170,000 per annum. If you are interested to know more, kindly take part in the poll that's going to be conducted now. Let us know your preferred mode of training and we will reach out to you. Now we will start with the Q&A session and answer some questions that were sent to us during the presentation. Over to you, Khaled.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ritika. So the first question for Dr. Ozkaya is, what is your favorite tool for collecting CTI for your team?
Let me quickly show you. There's many. Of course, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Just a minute. We have to close the poll.
Okay, sorry for that. Quickly, I can show you. I have, you know, live chat feed from Walkery, which is free. Again, you can go and, of course, it's Komodo. There is also similar ones from Microsoft, from Kaspersky. Feel free to use any of these, okay? But I work for Komodo. As a result, my favorite one is Komodo, and it shows live where the current attacks is, the hashes. Or you can just, you know, again, I'm just showing the free ones, okay? What attack happens where? What are the details? You can just click, and as you can see, learn about the hashes. You can see about the details. You can even upload to VirusTotal or to us to analyze it for you. And here, again, you will see that, for example, there is, oops, this is not refreshed, but you can see what's happening in the industry. Sorry, it logged me out, but I hope this tells you, gives you the answer. There is many different tools, and I'm just showing you the free ones. Or I love this website. Honestly, I don't know who owns it. The threat report, you know, they usually share really great stuff. Or Hacker Combat, for example, they have lots of great stuff. Or of course, my blog, my YouTube channel can be also great tools for you to get all this information.
Okay. Another question for you is, which platform of programming should we concentrate And will this affect IoT devices, which is prone to cyber attack?
Oh, this is, as I said, remember, I was trying to give you example, like programming, it all depends. If you want to be hacking, Python is these days very popular. But honestly, I would recommend to start, for example, with CH. And from there, if you want to learn hacking, maybe from there to LTP, license penetration tester, or CH master. And then you can check EC Council website. And I'm not just telling this because, I'm here. As it was told to you before, I mean, I was in Hall of Fame, and years ago, I was the best instructor for EC Council in Asia Pacific, actually. And then I was in Circle of Excellence. So what I'm trying to say is, it helped me. Why should it not help you? Programming, honestly, it all depends what you want, but Python is good. Honestly, you can learn some languages such as PowerShell. This can help you a lot as well, depending what platform you want to be. Of course, Kali Linux, everybody knows about it. This is not programming, right? I know it's not programming, but some tools which will make you even better. Or Visual Studio as programming, for me, being a Microsoft boy, ex-Microsoft employee, and still Microsoft lover. Next one.
Okay, the next one is, in view of CTI, what should be the better proactive security measures for cloud security?
Cloud security. Okay, look, when it comes to cloud security, again, honestly, that doesn't matter which CTI you use, it should give you full resource for regardless. Like cloud, in my opinion, is just another data center. Data center which is not belongs specifically to you. Yes, there are some different aspects of cloud. As long as you know securing cloud is a shared responsibility, you cannot just blame Microsoft Azure or Amazon AWS or Alibaba Cloud if you get hacked. So you cannot just blame Alibaba or Microsoft. It's a shared responsibility. And having a proper threat intel partnership will help it to be better. And for that, for example, Microsoft has its own Azure Security Center, which has some threat intel feeds. Or if you're going to use, for example, Komodo, I know Komodo, you can connect your cloud platform into our threat intel feed as well. And I know there are some other security vendors, they do that as well. But it will be not right for me to talk about it as I'm now working for a vendor. Next question, please.
Yes. So what do you think is the single greatest security threat to businesses?
The single threat, greatest threat, it's humans. Yes, humans. It's us.
Okay.
But don't forget, this could be a threat actor, the bad way, or this could be a human who was not trained by your security team, by awareness team, who clicks, or a human who ignores patches. So it's you. This was in early CH books. There is no patch for human stupidity. If you are CH2 certified, 3, the very early version, this was in the book, and I still use it. I still love it. Don't forget, you can patch your computer, but it's really hard to patch us.
Okay, I think that was the best answer today. The next question is, could you draw a roadmap to master the domain of cybersecurity in brief? Oh, very vague, but
Oh, a roadmap
to master the domain of cybersecurity.
Oh, all right. You can, okay, as a name, there is a master course at EC Council University or Charles University, but this is not going to make you master, that's for sure. Don't forget, education is important, but it's not all. You can just go, memorize, and pass, but more importantly, you have to learn. You have to understand. You have to put your hands in the keyboard. You have to test. You have to practice. Cybersecurity has lots of domains. A couple of days ago, honestly, I received a phone call from one of my followers. They asked, and I'm like, here's my phone number. I don't usually do that oftenly. And the question was, should I join to GRC, governance, risk, and compliance? I'm like, currently, GRC is very popular. Why not? He said, there's not too much jobs around. But look at this changing compliance landscape. I mean, I used to work for a bank which was heavily regulated. And this was #1 priority because I had the central bank on my neck. Then now, for example, I work in a US company. I live in Australia, but I have customers all over the globe. Some in Europe. I know GDPR is in my neck, which is good. It enforces me to secure my customers' data even more. I know I cannot hold, for example, I was born, grew up in Germany. German citizen data here in Australia has to be in Europe. An example. So there is multiple paths. Another example. If you ever went to try to catch chicken, if there's 3 chickens, if you try to run behind them, they will all run to different places. And if you don't target one of them, you will catch none of them. So you have to target one of them, focus on it, and try to catch it. Cybersecurity is like this. There is multiple areas, like what do you want to be? Penetration tester, defender, blue teamer, red teamer, they are similar, or compliance guy, or programmer. Decide what you want and focus on what you want. Get the right training based on the track. And again, if you check the EC Council website, they have the tracks based on what you want, and this should help you.
Okay, so the last question for you. Your thoughts on what needs to be used, SIEM, SOAR, or XDR? This is from logging, reporting, and normalizing perspective.
Honestly, I love the names EDR, XDR, TDR, MTR, DDR. Look, one thing is real. There's threats. And of course, don't get mad. What is the best car? Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, the very expensive one. Okay, perfect. Who asked this question? Can I get a name, please? All right, let's say George asked this question, or let's say Georgiana asked this question. I'm not gonna say, hey, George, I'm getting, or my moderator, who's reading the question? Can I get your name, please? Let's chat for a minute.
It's Ian.
What was your name again? Sorry, I couldn't catch it.
It's Ian.
Ian, hi, Ian. Sorry, yeah, of course. I understood it's here. I'm like, oh, of course I know.
No,
Okay,
it's Ian Leroy Arakel who's asked this question.
Okay. Oh, no. What is your name again? Sorry.
Khaled. My name is Khaled.
Khaled. If I give you a free Ferrari, will you be happy? I mean, I'm not going to talk to. I cannot talk to Ian. That's why I'm asking you this question. Free Ferrari for you. Will you be happy? Ferrari, free.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one condition. You are responsible of the maintenance fee.
No.
Why not? Free Ferrari. You're going to drive it.
Yeah, but I need to also be able to maintain it.
Yeah, but if you drive it in a normal street, it should be fine. But again, another condition. I'm like a bank. Free credit card for 20 seconds. In big writing, they tell you big free credit card. In very little writing, they say for 20 seconds. I'm just making it up, of course. Here's the free Ferrari for Ian. But you have to drive this Ferrari in a desert. Remember?
No.
You're responsible of the maintenance cost. You will not be happy because Ferrari is not built for desert. So back to the question. What is better? EDR, PDR, MDR, XDR? Honestly, look, I work for a vendor as well. If I tell Komodo is the best, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Try it. Then ensure it fits into your organization. There's bigger companies than us. company X, company Y. Or if EC Council tells you they're the best training provider, don't believe them. Go compare it with others. See how many people did get certified. Look at job ads and see how many people are looking for CH, for example. I am looking for CH right now. Go and apply. This makes, if you talk to any seller, nobody's going to tell my product is bad. They're going to say we are the best. But go and verify it, test it yourself. EC Council is one of the best. Why? They are there for years. There are tens of thousands trained people. And more importantly, another example, I'm not going to highlight Sense. I love it. They're great too, but they charge leg and arm for training. I'm sorry. For that much money, I'm not going to pay. Companies pay. I can get 3 EC Council training for this. Yeah, it's like Ferrari, best car, but do I really need a Ferrari? So do you really need XDR, or do you really need the next gen firewall? Or is, please, they're all important, they're all good. Get them and test them. Endpoint detection response or extended endpoint detection response is important. But if it does, it's like going to a shoe store. You don't just buy any shoe, right? You buy the shoe that fits your leg. Maybe your shoe size is 10 or 43, whatever you use, UK size or American size. But sometimes you have to test it before you buy it, because not every shoe is designed for every leg. Maybe you're a bit chubby and your fat is your leg is a bit fat, a bit more thicker. Then 10 is not enough. You have to get 10.5 or 11, or not 41, 42 as shoe size. I hope this answered the question. So there is no one fit answer for everything. My recommendation is please test it out, compare it, and then look at the price. Ferrari is good if you're a billionaire. Otherwise, even if you're a billionaire, sitting in a Ferrari for long term could be not that good. How do I know? Because I did drive one before. Honestly, I prefer my Mercedes AMG, because I know once I hit a tree, it's gonna save me better than a Ferrari. Think about it. Once you are in an incident, like does the airbag opens? Airbag is now standard. Every car has it. Doesn't have all these other security features. When you are in danger, in need, is the company small enough to help you? Of course, when you buy it, they are always going to help you. But when you need help, do they ask you for leg and arm, or are they there to support you? Ask all these questions, and this is part of incident response. And you can get, maybe if you tweet about it, maybe you can ask for my incident response in the Age of the Cloud book. I have this explained there. I think it's answered the question.
Yes, and thank you so much. We have so many. Yeah.
Yes, great. Lots of tweets. Don't forget, you have to tweet something like, Haris, thank you, but you just tagged. You didn't tweet anything about the session. Taj, thank you. Everybody, please tweet good or bad, something good about the session, and continue tagging us. The one with most tweets and retweets is gonna select three. Maybe the team. You let me know the winners, or
Yes.
I will select it myself and send 5 people ebooks. Okay, of their choice.
Definitely. And I think I will send you, but there is so many comments in the chat box regarding the session. They loved it. They loved your examples. You're very
Thank
funny
you.
and informative. I'll send it all across to you. And I'm so sorry we cannot take all the questions. We are bounded by time. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And Dr. Ozkaya, you are amazing. You're a rock
Thank
star. The
you.
way you explain stuff is really, really entertaining as well as informative. May I tell you that? So thank you so
Thank you.
much for joining us, everyone. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much, guys. You may now
Can I
disconnect the
say one more
lines.
thing?
Yes, please, please.
Just to show how valuable you all to me. In Sydney, it's at the moment 1 a.m., 10 past 1 a.m. That's how important you are to me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for arranging it. And I'm looking forward to our next chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, guys, and a night. Bye bye.
Team?
Yes,
I think it was good, huh?
it was really good. It was really good. I You should see the number of questions and the number of comments you have got for this webinar. I'm going to compile and send it to you. It was
Please.
amazing,
So you're
especially
happy?
about the PPT. Yeah, it was great. I'm really happy. I think everyone is.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
This makes me happy as well. Okay then, time to go and sleep.
Please go to sleep. Yes, it's really late. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Erdal. Good night.
Bye. See you next time.
Thank you.